time to relax. Everything I say, by the way, I am recording, so you will be able to listen to everything we discuss multiple times. But I do want to start and basically go over your responses and tell you just how we can a little bit, so they would sound a little bit stronger and more impressive. I actually want to start with your introduction. Something I want you to understand is that by the time you get to the interview, they already have went through your CV, academic credentials, community service, volunteer work. All those questions are being asked in the application. Some of it you even touched in your statement of purpose. So basically talking about all that, when I'm asking you to introduce yourself, you're missing a very important opportunity to really show that you are not only academically qualified, which that what you were trying to say, I have the academic credentials, the clinical experience, and the community service experience, but even more so, I want to see that you have the personality and that you are a well-rounded person and you are an honest person and you have a lot of characteristics that you did not get a chance to share with me on your application, because by reading your application, I don't know if you have great communication skills. I don't know if you have great interpersonal skills. I don't know if you're a nice person to get along with, an approachable person. I don't know if you're honest and ethical. I don't know if you are an interesting person. And that is your opportunity to show me other characteristics that you have other than what I know about you. So what I want you to think about, having the tell me about yourself question as an introduction to the essay. Because throughout the interview, I do want you to develop the following ideas. The idea that you're a well-rounded person, to the idea that you're a very caring and compassionate person, the idea that you're academically qualified, I have a lot of clinical experience, the idea that you have community service experience and you're actually a community service-oriented dentist. I want to show that you're a leader. I want to show that you're really entering the field of dentistry with a lot of passion. And lastly, I want to show that obviously Colorado is your top choice peak. Okay. So what I'm going to do in the introduction paragraph, I'm only going to mention those ideas. Why? Because I'll make it very interesting for the interviewer to ask me about it. I'll just give you an introduction. Okay, I'm obviously making a lot of facts about you because I obviously know you only from, a 40-minute interaction that I had with you. But I just want to show you how I can introduce myself to you and give you a lot of information that will be very valuable to you. But at the same time, I'll make it very interesting for you because you would want me to develop all those ideas. One last thing, do you have any research experience?
No.
No, okay. For Colorado, it's not that important, so I'm not even concerned about that. Okay, so let's consider it really, really good, okay? And obviously, I'm making a fact, but I just want to show you what's considered a very good introduction. First of all, good morning. My name is Dayna. I want, before I even start, to take this opportunity to thank you for inviting me to my first choice dental school. I'm so honored and so humbled to be here today, and I cannot thank you enough for this opportunity. Just a little bit about myself. As you probably saw on my CV, I'm a graduate dentist from India. I actually had the honor and privilege to go to one of the top dental schools in India. I had such a great experience learning what I'm absolutely passionate about, dentistry, in really dental schools that really emphasize clinical and education in dentistry. But another very important thing that my dental school emphasized that really made me the dentist I am today is community service. I grew up in an environment in India that I've seen a lot of patients with limited access. That really encouraged me to become.
You are breaking a little bit, so I cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. And the environment that, regardless, everything is being recorded, but I do want you to hear. I grew up in an environment in India that I've seen a lot of patients with very limited access to dental care, with very limited access to dental education. And I think that those events have encouraged me to become a leader and a community service-oriented dentist. If you see, ever since I graduated from dental school, I was constantly involved in community service and leadership. That's something that is a commitment that I always made to myself, that if I'm privileged enough to go to dental school and gain knowledge and skills that less than 1% of the world population has, I will benefit, I will use those knowledge and skills not only to benefit myself, but to benefit others. And ever since I learned dentistry, that is exactly what I was actively doing, is being involved in community service with underprivileged communities and really trying to spread access to care as much as I can. Ever since I moved to the United States about 3 years ago, I was actively working with dentists. I never wanted to give up on my passion to be a dentist. I wanted to, first of all, learn how dentistry is being practiced in the United States, and I got the honor and privilege to go work with several dentists here in the United States that taught me so much about dentistry and about different techniques and different technology that I was not familiar with. During that time, I was working on my part 1 and part 2 to be able to go to dental school in the United States. And during that time, I was obviously also very, very heavily involved in community service and helping the society. In my spare time, you'll see me reading books, watching movies, cooking, traveling. I love to travel and learn about new cultures, new places. I'm a type of person that loves to interact with people. Interaction with people is one of my biggest passions. Actually, since I came to the United States, I enlarged the scope of my friends so drastically. I know people from probably almost every place in the world, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in my ability to interact with people of different cultures, of different ages, and really form very nice relationship with them. I'm also, of course, a very artistic person. I love anything to do with art. You'll see me always painting, sculpting, knitting, sewing. That's obviously one of my biggest passion. But my absolute biggest passion is dentistry. And this is why I'm here today. And once again, thank you so, so much for this opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. What I did by that, without reading to you my entire CV, what did you learn from me already? You learned that I'm a leader. You learned that I'm a compassionate person. You learned that I have excellent communication skills. You learned that I very love and very important for me community service. You learned that I'm also a very well-rounded person. I like to travel. I like to read. I like to cook. I like to work out. Maybe you like to dance. Share fun things about me. What am I trying to do by that? I'm trying to show I'm not only book smart. And that's the biggest fear of dental schools, because I am always with the perfect scores, and then when you talk to them, you see that there's nothing to talk to them about. Their communication skills and people skills are so poor. And that's the reason of the interview, because that's what's so scary about accepting someone just based on grades. Because a lot of time you meet the person and you're like, oh, he's such not a great fit for dentistry. He can probably be a genius researcher, but not someone who would want to work with people. And that's what you're also trying to sell in dental school interview. I have excellent communication skills, interpersonal skills. I'm a great leader. I'm a very caring person. You put me in a class of international dentists from all over the world, I'll have friends after a week. I'll be the one student that'll be resourceful and helpful to everyone. I'm a type of person who likes to study with other people, to share my notes, to assist, to tutor, to guide, to collaborate. I would be a great fit for this type of program, because I know that I'll fit in, like a glove to it. That's so easily. And that's what you're trying to convey. Now, I probably made it interesting to you because I mentioned that I work with several dentists here in the United States. I mentioned to you that I was heavily involved in community service. I told you that also all throughout my life was taking upon myself leadership opportunities. Maybe now you want to hear more about it. So now your next question to me would be, for instance, you mentioned that you were heavily involved in community service. Can you tell me more about it? You mentioned that you took upon yourself leadership positions. Can you tell me more about it? You mentioned that now we can develop more questions. If they're interesting, I threw out that I'm a leader, that I'm a community service-oriented person, that I love dentistry. You obviously, I hope, got that the fact that I'm very, very passionate about dentistry. I even mentioned mention that I'm artistic because that's obviously very important for dentistry. What we do is 90% of the time we work with our hands. We definitely want to throw that in. And I even gave you the information that ever since I moved to the United States, I was always involved in dentistry. I really never took a gap between moving here, between dentistry and dental school. Even though I was not technically practicing, I was heavily involved in the field of dentistry, in shadowing, in assisting, in volunteering. Doesn't matter in what form. I never left the field of dentistry. It's part of who I am, so there's not really any disconnection. That's supposed to be an introduction. And that, from 2012 to 2013, I was working with this one. We're not reading, they already have seen our CV, they already have seen our resume, they already have seen our application, they know exactly what we've done. So we just want to portray ourselves. This is what I am. Now, I love the fact that you are confident about this year getting in and you're very motivated, but don't sound too confident because that's something that they also don't like. You cannot tell them, I know for a fact I'm getting in. They don't like to hear that, okay? You can say, I strongly believe that I've improved my application in every single aspect that I found weakness in, that I strongly believe that I make this year a very strong candidate to your program. That sounds a lot better than, I know for a fact I'm getting in. I know you're not, but I don't want them to think that you're too full of yourself or that you think you're the best kind of thing. So just change of words because the idea is great. I know that you have worked very, very hard to be as strong of a candidate than you are, and you have every right to take a lot of pride in all that you have achieved because you have achieved a lot, but I don't want you to come off. When we were talking about weaknesses, they do not want to hear that that it's hard for you to find weaknesses, because part of being a dentist is to be what we call self-critical. It's really recognizing that we always have room for improvement. And not to say, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing every procedure fantastic. No, I really, if I find right now someone that I know that is really, really good in certain procedures, I'll ask questions. Because people that are very humble, that are people that always strive, we'll ask questions even at classmates, not even like a specialist. We'll go to a classmate and be like, it seems to me like you're very fast and very punctual in doing crowns. Can you show me your techniques? What have you learned in your back home that is different than what I learned? I'm a type of person that always very self-critical. You can even make a joke out of it when you say, tell me about your weaknesses. You can even laugh. It's like, where to start? There's nothing that is perfection. I'm a type of person that wake up in the morning and always ask myself, how can I improve myself on a personal and professional level? Even in terms of weaknesses, I always ask myself, how can I be a better mother? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better daughter? How can I be a better friend? How can I be a better community service-oriented person? So for me, to be weaknesses, I always criticize myself that I don't do enough community service because I really all the time understand the need of it. And I sometimes, busy weeks when I don't have the time for that, I really criticize myself. Something that I also criticize myself is sometimes I'm so busy helping everyone that I don't find time for myself. I'm taking care of everyone else's health, that sometimes I forget about my own health. That it has been like almost 8 months since I myself saw a dentist, and I on a regular basis see patients. So, sometimes I'm asking myself, what is my priority? Like, I criticize myself that sometimes I need to find more time for myself. I preach to everyone to live very healthy lifestyle, but sometimes I don't have time to work out, to eat healthy, and to do things that are so important for me. So that's something that I really want to learn how to also find some me time in my very busy schedule. You do want to hear that you're always self-critical, and that you're always striving to be better. And you can say that one of your strengths is also being a very humble person. One of the things they don't like in dental school, and I'll tell you, especially with international dentists, is that they come with the attitude of we know it all. I'm already a dentist. Some of those dentists have a couple of years of experience, and they do not want to listen and learn. And that's one of the biggest complaints of faculty members, that they come and they try to teach them something that is slightly different than what they were, and they look at them and give them a look like, I already know how to do it. You don't need to teach me. Yes, they do. You're here to learn. You're here to improve yourself. We are giving you all the credit needed that you are a licensed dentist in your country. But the idea of coming here to the United States is really to put everyone at kind of an equalizer line that we all know the same exact practices in dentistry in terms of education and clinical practices. And there's always need to learn. You might know something that is more advanced, you might know a different way, and in your opinion, the way that you know might be better, but it doesn't matter. You're right now in this program and you have to respect this program curriculum and this program policy. So it's very, very important to say, I think that I will be a type of student that will be very easy to work with. Even though I am a licensed dentist, I know and aware that I can grow and learn so much more. So I'm so open-minded to come to your program and enrich myself clinically and professionally in terms of education and clinical practice. And that's something I'm so excited about. I will be the type of person that will ask questions, that will try to learn more, and really try and strive to become the best dentist that I could possibly become coming out of your program. But what I also like about your program, and that's the way that I want to go to why Colorado, you started in a lot of the things that I say you already said, so I just want to polish. Why do I want to go to Colorado? Before I applied to the international programs, I did a lot of research. There were a couple of criteria that were very, very important for me in a dental school. One of them was to go to a dental school that really offered the best clinical training and education. I have to say that I spoke to a lot of international dentists who have attended several programs across the nation, and everyone from Colorado was so positive about the program. That's something that truly sold me on your program, hearing the great reputation, the great feedback that I got from other dentists about your program. And it was very, very important for me to go to a program that I know I will be happy and learn from the very best. And that's really why your program stood out. But the more I learned about your program and learned about your strength in your clinical training and also about the leadership opportunities that you provide to your students and the community service opportunities that you provide to your students, I really saw myself a great fit for your program. It's not surprising to me that this is the second time I'm applying to this program, because naturally I know a lot of other students, once they get rejected from a certain program, they just give up on that program and feel it's not for me. I am fighting to get to your program because I really cannot see any other program that would be a greater fit for me. I am a type of person that I feel that my core mission and values align so perfectly with what your school stands for, which is excellence in education, clinical practices, leadership, community service, and research. I really am a type of person that want to enter your program, partake in all the exciting opportunities that you provide to your students, and really become not only the best dentist that I could possibly become, but also the best leader that I could possibly become. And I cannot think about a better program than Colorado to accomplish that idea. Aside from that, location. In my opinion, Colorado is probably one of the most beautiful states in America. In terms of view, you have the mountains, you have the sunny summer, but you have the snow. And that's something that will be very, very, very exciting for me to move to such a beautiful place when I know the education system is really top. And I know that even for my husband, there will be a lot of opportunities in his profession. So discussing that with my family, we really all thought that moving to Colorado would be the most ideal state when we were comparing the different dental schools. And lastly, and with all honesty, the quality of faculty members. And, you're talking to faculty members, so I really read a lot about the faculty members in the school, and I really saw that all of them are really leading faculty members in their field, and that's something that is very, very important for me, to know that I'm learning from the very, very best. And every student, again, that I learned, that I spoke to from this program, all mentioned the quality of faculty members, which for me is one of the most important criteria, because when I went to dental school back home, once again, I enjoyed learning from the very best, which I think gave me the clinical skills that I have today. And that's something that I really want to continue, knowing that I'm going to one of the leading dental schools in the United States, knowing that I will learn the very latest and the most advanced dentistry that I could possibly learn. For all those reasons, Colorado is my number one choice dental school. And I'll take this opportunity one more time to thank you for me for the interview today. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Although, so you're talking about why Colorado from every single aspect. There, and I hope that I convinced you how much I want to come to your school and how highly I think about your school. And I threw into that once again, I'm community service oriented, dentist, I'm a leader, and I'm someone who really want to come and be a valuable asset to the school. I do want to talk, even though I did not ask you, about an ethical question, because a lot of time, and it can come in a lot of scenario, it can come in a scenario with a patient, it can come in a scenario, in an educational scenario. What would you do if you'd be offered a test question for tomorrow's exam? It can be about many stuff. What would you do if you would know that one of your colleagues is charging insurance companies for unnecessary treatments? What do you do in those situations? And one of the most important thing is to show what person you are. And I think that it's very easy to take it to the way you were raised. You can say, I was raised back in India in a very conservative family that always taught me the values of honesty, ethical and moral standards. And I think growing up with those values, I always knew the difference between right and wrong. I always knew that shortcuts are situations that never are the right option, no matter what the circumstances is. Even in situations when people are nervous, are stressed, are fearful, or want just to create a shortcut, I don't believe in that, and even more so in the field of dentistry. That's, as a matter of fact, something that I will never tolerate, or something that I will never accept. In any situation such as that, the first thing I would do is have a discussion with that person, because I would expect that person to have very similar moral and ethical values as me if we both made it to this program here and the school. But I will give that person the benefit of the doubt that they are just not aware of what they're doing. So I would have a discussion with them and even see if they're doing it purposely, intentionally, or something in their processing is not going right. And just explain to them that it's not only morally wrong, it's also legally wrong to do what they're doing. And what I would advise to them is offer them other alternate options that they could choose. For instance, instead of going and cheating on tomorrow's exam, why wouldn't they come and study with me if they're so fearful from the material? And I will show them a different way to understand the material. I'll give them my notes. I might volunteer to stay all night with them and study. If that's my patients, if that's my colleague,
Your voice is not clear to
she
me.
didn't do that in the past. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, perfect. It's just probably the internet is going in and out. That's a problem, probably. If that is, for instance, one of my colleagues cheating with insurance companies, I would tell that colleague, why are you doing that? Is the problem that you feel that you're not making enough money? Let me offer you other ways when you can increase your income in a very ethical and moral standard. Maybe you need an assistant to work a little faster and then be able to see more patients, or really to understand their family, their practice dynamics, to give them advices to solve their solution in other ways other than cheating and doing something immoral. But in all those incidents, if I would see a repeating behavior, I will go and report, because it's very important for me as a dentist to keep the field of dentistry very ethical and very moral. Because I understand that one dentist can really hurt the reputation for everyone else. If one patient would have a bad experience with one dentist, now they would think that unethical, all dentists are doing wrong things. So it's very important for me to go and treat that problem very specifically and make sure that it does not occur again. So if I would know that my classmate has cheated on the exam, I would go to the faculty member and just say that I am aware that the test exam were passing along in the exam, and maybe they want to do something about it, or let them choose how to deal with that situation. But it's something that I definitely not gonna cooperate with that situation. So you're basically saying, absolutely against my values, against what I was raised with, against who I am, against what I believe in. So absolutely no, under any circumstances, absolutely no. Where do you want to see yourself in 5, 10 years? You mentioned how you're coming from a family that everyone is in the business field, and that's something that you look up to them in that sense. So you would love to own your own practice. But that's not exactly all they want to hear. But you don't stand out because probably every person going to your program or that is applying to Colorado right now, that's what they will do. And this is not the purpose of this program, is to produce more dentists in Colorado or in New Jersey. We have enough dentists in those states. So why do we need more? Because we need more that are doing things that are differently. So answer that, I want you to answer that. Life is very, very dynamic. I'm assuming that in 5 to 10 years from now, just an assumption, I probably, hopefully, will be owning my own practice or working as an associate with someone else. But regardless of where I'm going to be practicing, in which state, and where, and what exactly I'm going to do, there's one thing that I'm absolutely confident that I will be doing, and that is reaching out to these different unprivileged communities, locally and hopefully even globally, always finding the time to provide access to care to the less fortunate. And even back in India, I know that there's so many communities in such dire need of access to care and patient education. Growing up in India, I feel the obligation to even try to go even once a year on mission trips and to provide access to care, to go back to India and to teach even my classmates from dental school, teaching them about all the exciting things that I had the privilege and opportunity to learn in the United States, to share it with them, because I understand that not everyone has the opportunity to grow and learn in the America. And as I mentioned before, I'm the type of person that always uses the privilege that I get not only to benefit myself and my immediate family, but to benefit other people who don't have similar opportunities as me in this lifetime. And I think that that will be an honor and a privilege for me to spread the knowledge, to spread the experiences, to go and share my experiences, and to spread dentistry as much as I can, locally and globally. So those that for them, dentistry is just a privilege and not a right. Now you're a much more significant candidate. Now I want someone like that on my team. Does that make sense? Because now you stand out.
Your voice is breaking.
Dayna, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I cannot. Yeah, now it's good.
Okay, perfect. So basically, why now you're better? Because now you're not just another candidate that want to be a dentist. You explain to them what's the added value do you bring to the field of dentistry. Why do we want you and not someone else? Because I understand all the great impact that you will have on our community as a dentist. Does that make sense? I understand what you can bring to the field of dentistry that other candidates cannot necessarily bring to the field of dentistry. And now you stand out, because I would rather someone that talks about how to benefit others than someone who just talk about what dentistry would do for them. Because most students, what they do is go to the dental school interview and talk about what dentistry would do for me. It will allow me to work in my passion, will allow me to open practices in the United States, will allow me to do something that I'm very, very passionate about. Okay, but my question is, what can you do for the field of dentistry? Or in other words, why do I need you? Everyone wants to open practices. Everyone is passionate about dentistry. How do you stand out? You need to talk about what you can do for dentistry, not what dentistry could do for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How we talking about why you want me? Because I'm a leader. I'm a type of person that not only just simply open my own practice and practice, I always will have in mind the undeserved, the underprivileged communities. I'll always have in mind how poorly dentistry is implemented back home, or even here in the United States. There's still a lot of people that don't know how to floss their teeth, how to brush their teeth properly. Now, one of the issues in the field of dentistry, I want you to understand, is yes, a lot of people have insurances, but I'm not really concerned about those. One of the issues in the United States is not insurances. I wish that was our problem. Is the fact that dentistry is a privilege and not a right to everyone. Is the fact that dentistry is financially dependent. Very simple, Dayna. If a family in the United States are living off enough money to bring food to the table, they definitely don't go and see a dentist. If a mother in the United States doesn't have enough money to send her child with shoes and a notebook to school, do you think she's taking her son to a dentist? Probably not. Probably not. So, and if a family doesn't have enough money to pay rent at the end of the month, they probably don't go and see a dentist. I'm talking about those communities, the really poor communities in the United States. The fact is that even in the United States, that we're one of the largest nations in the United States, one of the most advanced nations in the United States, still people do not have access to dentistry. And that's mind-blowing fact that even in 2016, not everyone has access to dentistry. What you can say that you're so fortunate and so appreciative that the United States is giving you the opportunity to advance your knowledge, to go to dental school, to practice dentistry, that you feel the obligation to give back and to reach out to the undeserved and underprivileged community, to community service, and patient education activities. That's what you feel is your way to give back to America. Because you understand, yes, you moved to the land of opportunities, so the land gave you opportunity. To say, life is about, now that you have a child, that's values that you want to always teach. Life is not only about me. Don't always think, how can I get? Think also, how can I give? So you move to the land of opportunities, give me opportunities, even to accomplish your dream and go to dental school. What are you doing in return? And that's what you need to be busy with. What am I doing in return? How can I give back to Colorado dental school? How can I give back to the community for the opportunity you guys gave me to learn dentistry here? Does that make sense? You see how we're shifting?
It's all connected.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're standing out. Because my fear is that, as you probably know, all the dentists that apply to this school more likely have part 1, more likely have part 2. They have clinical experience, they have community service experience. So with that, it's very hard to stand out. You cannot say, I have 100 hours of community service and he has only 95. Pick me. Really? This is not a good comparison,
Yes.
You all dentists, all went to dental school, and you are
All
more
have
or less the
experience.
same. So how do you stand out?
That's true.
How do you stand out? Why? Because you have a nicer smile, you have more beautiful eyes than the other person. How do you stand out? You stand out in the content of what you say. You say, forget about my academic credential, forget about my part 1, forget about my part 2. This is all part of the past. Let's talk what's really important. I feel that I'm bringing leadership qualities, community service mindset, a passion to dentistry, and a lot of motivation to not only to become the best dentist that I could possibly become, but also the best leader in the community. I want to be one of those students that gives so much pride to your school once I graduate, that you'll see me constantly being active in community service and leadership opportunities and patient education opportunities. And my goal and hope is to encourage my college classmates in my class to join me in that mission, so we could all together make a meaningful contribution to the field of dentistry and be a valuable part of society. That's my hope and goal. Because I know that I'm the type of person that have those leadership qualities that I can encourage and just explain to everyone and say, hey everyone, I'm going to volunteer on Sunday at blah, blah, blah. Come join me. That's the type of person you want to be. The one that encourage and influence other dentists to go and do something so important and giving back to the community. That's what your interview needs to be about. So less about, my grades, my experience, my clinical. I know how to do that, and we know you know dentistry. We know you worked very, very hard to get your dental degree. Nobody has doubted in it. But now the question is, what can you offer us? Because you know that we have so many applicants. They probably get every year like 400 applicants, and you know that their class size is 10% of it. Exactly. So how do you choose? How do you choose? You really want to choose people that truly stand out. Obviously, based on your experience, you know that it is important for them, the clinical experience, and they don't want to see that you've been, but you need to understand that this is not the only way. So it's very easy if you have 400, All those without clinical experience, send out. All those without, send out. All those without, but you're still left with about 150 that have all that. How now do you choose? Now you choose among all those the one who stand out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about questions that you can ask at the end of the interview. You can say that, for instance, any question you can ask that shows that you want to be a valuable asset to your school. I'll just give you a couple of ideas. For example, I know that your school has a couple of community service opportunities. Can you tell me more about it? And also share with me if those opportunities are available already in the first year or only in the second year of the program. I wanted to know if your school has any mission trips to other countries where we could be actively participating. I wanted to know what are the leadership opportunities that are available to the International Dentist Program. Any question like that, of that style, is considered a really good question. Why? Because you're basically asking, how can I do to help? What can I do to be active in your program, part of your program, and add to your program? So all those questions are considered very, very, very good. Technical questions are less interesting to them because you'll get all that information if you get accepted. So you just want to see how great the program is. So every question you're asking is such a great question. Even when you ask about, about clinical, it's good, but not as good as asking, how can it be part of your program? That's basically, or even a question that I love when they ask is, even if you ask your interviewer, what has made you decide to be part of Colorado's faculty member? What about this program stood out to you that made you choose to be part of this program? Another question that I love is, can you describe to me what I should expect in the first year in terms of curriculum? Can you describe to me a day in the International Dentist Program? He might tell you, you'll be here at 8 until 5, at 5, just, Monday to Friday, just to get a little bit of that. Can you describe to me how does the day look like? How much do they study at home? What do they do? A normal day in a dental student's life here in your program. So that's something I would love to hear. All those questions are considered great questions. I do not want you to ask more than 2 questions. Why? Because I want you to keep that proportion very well, because that probably you'll ask at most 10, 15 questions in your interview, not more. I don't want you to come with 10, 15 questions, because don't forget, they're interviewing you, you're not interviewing them. And as you also know, it's such a busy day. You're taking a tour in the school, they talk to you. It's such a long day. It's like 5-6 hours a day. The interview cannot be so long. So if they took 15, 20 minutes to interview you, you cannot sit there for another 15, 20 minutes and ask them questions. It's not reasonable. So just 1 or 2 questions, I think, is more than enough. And before you leave the room, once again, a smile, confident. You keep saying, I have great communication skills and interpersonal skills. Show it. Don't stand in front of people. You said you're good with people. Show how friendly you are, how nice you are. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Look forward to hear from you. Even if you need to fake it, show that you're so calm, so relaxed, so confident, and having fun. That's the most important thing. They need to see that you're very comfortable in this setting, because eventually they want to see that you would be a great fit for this program. That means that if I'm putting you with 50 or 60 other international dentists, 5 minutes and you already start talking to people, and you're not sitting in the top left corner by yourself and not talking to anyone. That's not what they're looking for. So you want to show great communication skills, interpersonal skills, people skills, but by the way, are such essential characteristics of being a dentist, right? If you don't know me and I'm right now sitting on your chair, you need to start talking to me. And you actually need to make me feel comfortable, right? Because I'm the stressed one, because you're the one who's going to cause me pain, not me to you. So you need to ask me, how are you? What's your name? Ask me a couple of questions. Where are you from? Sit down. Let me know what's bothering you. Let me see. Don't worry. I'll be taking care of you. Hopefully, after you leave here today, you'll have no more pain. Everything will be right. You're at a great place. We'll take care of you. Me and my team will do anything in our power to make sure that you leave here today and this pain will be gone. That's a way to make people comfortable. Not to, okay, what's your name? Okay, sit down. Why would I want? Who are you? What are you? So, so that's the same way. You want to go there and make them feel good morning. By the way, you can ask them, what is your name, please, sir? Dr. So, very nice to meet you, Dr. So. Show them that you're very, very good in interpersonal skills and people skills. That's something they're teaching you. They're like, oh my God, she was so friendly, she was so nice. That's what I want them to remember you, Oh, the sweet girl yes, this one. Not, because you know what happens? Go to the committee afterward, and the committee might meet a couple of days after your interview, and they will say, Dr. So-and-so, you interviewed Dr. That. What do you remember about her? I don't want him to say that much. Does that make sense? Remind me who she is? Oh, she's the one who went to dental school in India. Yeah, I don't remember much about her. She was good. She was okay. Yeah, it'd be weird. Whatever. What she was okay. That's not what I want them to write. Does that make sense? Oh my God, she was so sweet. She was so friendly. I definitely remember that sweet girl that I interviewed. Yes, that's what we call leaving a good impression. That's the type of impression that I want you to. That I interviewed one school. And I did not go to that school. And about 6 years after, I met the person who interviewed me in one of the dental conferences. He came to me and he told me, I remember interviewing you to our school 6 years ago. That's how long the impression has lasted. He probably interviewed hundreds of students since, hundreds. Somehow he remembered me because something in our interaction has left an impression on him that maybe I was friendly, maybe I was nice, maybe I was funny, maybe I was annoying. Doesn't matter. Something left impression that he could approach me 6 years after and tell me, I remember interviewing you. That's the thing I want you to be. That they will see you first day of school, be like, I remember interviewing you, something like that. Does that make sense? That it will be very, 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 very good impression. And don't show that you're nervous. And by the way, don't make your interview ultra formal. We're not in court here. We're human being having, they're going to be your faculty member. You want someone that you can knock on the door and say, hi, Dr. So-and-so, just have a question. You mentioned something today in class. I didn't really get it. Explain it to me. Or you mentioned something in clinic. Can we further discuss? You want them to be your colleague. And that's what's nice about it. And so don't make it, you're not sitting in the court and make it be a little bit more loose. Just fun, smiling, such a good character. Smile to them, be fun. Show them that you're coming here to have fun. Because you've done anything in your past, there's nothing more you can do at this point. Does that make sense? You already did as much clinical experience, as much community service experience, as much. You took part one. You did everything in your power to be a strong candidate to the program. Right now, when you're sitting in your interviews, there's nothing more you can do. So tell yourself, you know what? I'll just be myself. I'll just be friendly. I'll just be nice. I'll just have fun. And whatever meant to happen, you probably know that, will happen. There's things in life that are out of our control. So just go and have fun. And it's very, very important because you really see the difference between those who come and have fun in their interview and really like the interview and say, oh my God, it was such a great interview. To those who get out of the interview and say, I have no idea. I don't know. There was a silent moment. I don't know what I said. They asked me that. I didn't know what to answer. When I get feedback from students, I know who will get in and who not. The one that told me it was a conversation. Oh my God, I had so much fun. It was so nice. I'm like, okay, I'm relaxed. I know they had a good. And those that tell me, I know that the interview was like question, answer, okay? Like almost like an interrogation in court. That's not good. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it's really up to you what environment to do, because if you're answering questions like that, shooting an answer question, you're creating that environment. So really feel that you have the power to shift it to a better environment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you have any other questions for me at this point?
Yes, actually, I have one question. Do I need to read the website for the Colorado Dental School whole website or just the international dental part?
I would read just the international dental part, but I would go to the page that says About Us, just so you'll feel the core mission and values, what's important to them. Does that make sense?
What you said, can you just repeat that?
Sure. Just read the page that says About Us, because I want you to be comfortable about what the school stands for, how long it's been, and you can actually in your school throw out some information about it. For instance, you see your your program has been there since 1980, blah, blah, blah. You're a well-established program. You have a very strong reputation for blah, blah, blah. Just read a little bit about them. I love that in your core mission you emphasize the strength of really producing dentists that are very strong academically, that are very community service minded, that are leaders, that are
just basic about us.
exactly.
Yeah, and I have one more question. Like, can I have to tell them that I got the rejection from Indiana and Pennsylvania if they ask me?
Absolutely not. You don't need to disclose that because you cannot know. What you do need to say is that you had interviews there or you're not even invited.
I already interviewed there and they put me on waiting list.
On waiting list. Okay, you can say that I have been interviewed at other dental schools and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. However, because it's true, you're still waiting to hear back from them. But I have to say that Colorado is my first choice dental school, and if I would get accepted to your program, I will withdraw my application from any other dental school. I really want to come to Colorado. So Colorado is certainly my top choice dental school.
Yeah, because in our application there's 25 colleges, so everybody's applying approximately 10 to 15 colleges. So they probably ask like, why you applying so much dental school? So they
and you say simply because of the competitive nature. I do understand how competitive it is to apply to the international programs. And even though with Colorado in my first choice dental school, I could not risk it and only apply to my first choice dental school. I had to apply to other schools. However, if I will get accepted to your program, I will withdraw my application from any other dental school and attend your program without any doubt.
Yeah, that's good. And another question, like I did my dental assistant position. It's a volunteer. So last interview they asked me, it's a volunteer position or it's a paid position. So does it make the difference, or it does make any difference to the interviewer?
You can say I was. Doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if they do want to see that you have volunteer work as well, which is very, very nice. So. But if you have other volunteer, it doesn't matter if you got paid or not. It's just to see, have you done anything volunteer? That's basically the question. Or you only got paid for everything that you've done. Does that make sense? Because they do want to see that you are community service-oriented person. You're always looking for the financial reward.
Okay, got your point. So I will practice as you advise to that question. And you told me that you have record everything. So you are gonna to send this link to me?
Yes, exactly. So what I'm going to do actually right now, I'm going to email you your recorded interview and your recorded critique. Because our big file, it normally takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and you should get it in your email. So, and then you'll be able to listen to it and giving you unlimited access to it as many times as you can. Even listen to yourself if you want interviewing, just so you'll hear yourself, how do you sound. But most importantly is to hear the critique session, to hear how I want you, to talk more about my plans to be a valuable asset to their program and a valuable asset to the field of dentistry. So it's not only just about how I will benefit from coming to your program, it's how you're going to benefit from me coming to your program.
Okay, yeah, understand.
Okay?
Yeah.
It was so nice to meet you. I'm very, very happy I got an opportunity to work with you. Have a wonderful day, and if you need absolutely anything, just email us, call us, whatever you need, and I'll be here for you.
Sure, thank you, and it's a great opportunity that I get the review, and I will definitely will improve myself as you advise me. So that will definitely going to be help me. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, and I really, really hope you'll make it to Colorado.
Sure, I will be excited. Definitely. Thank
okay,
you
keep
so
posted. Bye for now. Bye bye.
સારું કીધું નહીં